This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
I cannot wait for Saturday because the Fremantle Dockers will be hosting the Essendon Bombers. And Fremantle Oval, Natalie, can't wait to see the girls put on an absolute show. Lisa Webb is the coach of the Fremantle Dockers, and she joins us now. Good morning, Lise.
Morning, thanks for having me.
Hey, cracking season, Lisa. Congratulations on getting the girls to the finals again.
Oh, thank you. I don't do too much, to be honest. They're the ones out there crashing and bashing, but yeah, very, very proud of them.
No, Lise, I think you have clearly you've had a big impact. First of all, what I was saying to Emma O'Driscoll when she comes in here, win, lose or draw, I can see unbelievable effort, right? The girls just crash in, they throw their bodies in. But the thing that you've clearly done and helped out with is the connective piece. They seem like a really tight bunch, but not only that, they're enjoying each other's company, which is not easy to do.
No, and it's something that, I'm really lucky with. They're an incredible bunch of girls. One of the things that we kind of pride ourselves on is making sure we've got that all-in mentality, and we've just got a great culture down there. But, the girls credit to that as well. They work extremely hard in the off-season. They've got that complete buy-in, so they have that trust with one another as well. And I'm sure Emma's told you a few stories as well, but she just she's a fun person to be around, and there's a lot of connective pieces that go on in the off season as well.
Yeah, Coach Webb, would you say that Emma Driscoll is the loosest unit in the team, or are there a few like that?
No, she's loose.
She did tell us.
I wouldn't change her. That's for sure. She's an absolute gem.
It's like I tell you what, she's dropped a couple of F-bombs on here when she's right in the zone of a competition. Yeah, and that's the
you can take the girl out of Northern, but you can't take the Northern out of a girl. You know,
only a couple of F-bombs is a win for you guys.
At least the other thing she did tell us was a trip back from Geelong where she went on the toilet and she.
Yes, you saw a lot of her, Lisa.
Off the toilet.
I tell you what, I can't remove that story from my brain, and I was telling my 9-year-old son, and he was super keen to hear it again and again and again.
She said it made you guys closer.
Something else. Absolutely. That's Emma in a nutshell, though, isn't it? She's lucky I was the one holding the door because it could have been worse, I tell you that much.
But the vibe I get from Emma, it just shows where your team is at. You know what I mean? Like, she's professional, she does her job, but she's having a good time. It's exactly what you said, Shaun. That must be a beautiful way for you guys to be playing at the moment.
No, seriously, like in terms of football stuff, she'll come in and she'll be like, Lise, I know I, effed up a few times. What can I do to improve and get better? And she's so serious. Like, we're not here to, just make up the numbers. We're, fiercely determined to continue winning. And she's a great driver of that. She's actually a terrific leader as well. And she's got a great balance between, that really hard work ethic, but then also having fun. And she's so good for our group, and she is a barrel of laughs as well.
Can't wait to find her a boyfriend.
She's keen.
I know.
Hey, Lise, this weekend, obviously, it's a big moment for the club to get back into the finals. You're coaching your first final in this respect as well.
And a home final is great too.
I'd imagine the crowd is just going to be intense and huge. Have you talked about that? The noise, the moment, nerves, all that kind of stuff?
No, not really. It's one of those things that, we play footy for those type of moments. So it's either that or you can go down to your local oval and play in front of 100. So I think the big one for us is embracing the challenges that come with those things, but it's the ones we want. So hopefully we do get a lot of people down there, including you three. You never know what Em might do. She might do a backflip or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Get pants on, that'll be fine.
Loose unit, as we know.
Oh my God! They're the big moments. Obviously, they're a great team as well. But it's one of those ones that I feel we've been priming for. The girls came in last night. Obviously, they've got training again tomorrow, and we're ready to put our best foot forward in this final series. Coach
Webb, I would like to know. We're going to do a bit of a gender flip here, but back in the day, right? A young Shauna McManus. With her skills.
And an undercut.
Would you have drafted Shauna McManus?
Thank you, Nathan.
Of course.
Is there a long pause? There's a really long pause there, Lisa. Well, maybe you considered your response.
Yeah, it's a week later since I asked you the question.
She's just...
Oh, God, you guys are classic.
Oh, you're great, Coach Webb.
I'm looking forward to at least one of the things that you've probably been a little bit frustrated with is there's been dominance, and ground position's been one of them where we've dominated in. The fence has been great. Midfield's really started to click lately, but being able to get that forward connection going, is that something that, I guess, how much do you kind of just talk about it but also not try to overthink about what's going on there?
Yeah, I think like on the weekend would be a prime example of that. I think we had 39 inside 50s to 16, and you know that's a lot of dominance in particular areas, but we just couldn't get it through the big stick. So one of those things would be a bit of our decision making. We reviewed it really strongly last night, and then putting an advantage to the forwards. But to be honest, it's one of those things we've been working on all pre-season as well. I sit in a lot of the men's meeting. It's a continual kind of theme through all programs. So it's one of those things that it doesn't just click, but the girls have got that right mentality to continue to work for each other, block and create space, but also have a bit of composure when under pressure.
Well, Coach Webb, it's been an absolute pleasure. Saturday, by the way, 4 p.m. Everyone can get down there, support the Fremantle Dockers women's team.
Then head down to the big house after that, Sean.
Oh, mate, straight to the big house. It'll be going off.
Oh, gosh. Look out for the parents pre-game. They've already organised where they're going. They'll probably have a couple of wines before they get down there.
Good to know.
It'll be a great atmosphere.
Good
luck, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
All the best.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye, mate.
See you, mate.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun podcast.
Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state that nearly 14 million years
From the International Centre of Radio Astronomy Research, astrophysicist Leah Kalimaris joins us.
Hi, Leah.
Morning.
Leah.
Astrophysicist is just an impressive title.
I feel like
you.
I know everything about your job because of Raj Koothrappali from Big Bang Theory.
Is that accurate?
A little bit, I would say. Not so much my job. I like to talk to people about space, so I get really excited about that.
Yeah, because Raj can't talk to girls. So
Then when he gets drunk.
Lee, were you always interested in the sciences when you were at school? Because a lot of times, I mean, I can only just go back to my time in school. I glazed over many a day. So how did you stick at it?
Science has always been an interest of mine, but it's interesting when I look back at, when I was a high school student, I didn't realise I was that interested in science. I actually wanted to be a vet when I was in high school.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I went on a very wibbly-wobbly path, as I like to say. I don't think space was a strong passion of mine, and it was something that I developed as I got older, and I'm like, oh my God, that's an amazing job. I want to learn more about the universe, and here I am today.
The amazing thing about it is we are now in a different realm with space because people are looking at it as where we're going next, and people are planning on where we're going next. So we're in that zone. Is it so interesting at the moment? And do you see these plans for colonisation on Mars and stuff coming to fruition?
It's a good question, and I think, yes, at some point, yes. But I think the big sort of hurdle that we have to jump past is to get humans back on the moon. It's something that we did like 50 plus years ago now.
And that's why people's in conspiracy theories.
Why is that? I think we've asked that question before. I still don't get it.
It's just technology and the limitation of resources as well, because as we evolve.
Yeah, but 50 years ago, I mean, we could do it a heap cheaper.
Yeah, but it was a very high priority back then.
Yeah, it was all about
space. It was about being in Russia.
But wouldn't you think you'd be going up there every second day?
And that's why the conspiracy theorists said you never went there because you never went back. Yeah. And it's like, well, we went up there, there was nothing.
Yeah. Well, they went a few times.
I mean, what are we going to do with this moon rock, for God's sake?
Yeah, they went 5 times.
It's not like Avatar when they were drilling that power.
You're like, it would be enough.
Come on.
Leah, can I ask you about astrology? And I know this has been...
Astronomy.
Astronomy.
There is a big difference, Sean.
Gemini.
Yeah.
Aquarius.
You must have to make that distinction a lot.
Bit, yeah.
Well, because on Channel 7 News, at the end of it, they for some reason start reading the astrology.
It's a new thing, yeah.
That's not real, is it?
No.
Wow, the amount of psychics right now that are putting a spell on you.
My wife's going, you're an Aquarius. That means, it's not real.
I mean, when you think about how far away the planets, the stars, the movement of the moon and everything, to think that has an influence on each of our every individual lives. When you think about we have, 7-8 billion people on the planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think just trust that the stars are doing what they're doing and they have no impact on us.
Cool. And also, like, you know, if you think that you're living by astrology, Google your star sign and then put murderer next to it and then see that they're the same as you. They're a Gemini too.
And if you, like, you know, you've divided the world into 12 distinct things and that the same characteristics fall in exactly those.
No, but people are buying it left, right and centre.
Now, I'm worried about something about the future, right? Now, because we have ruined this planet and that's why we're looking to leave it and go somewhere else. I'm frightened that when we go out there and start effing around with other planets, we're going to ruin them as well.
I mean,
what's the deal with all the money? Because they're looking at the money that's probably going to be given to get up there in the future will be private companies that want to get the resources, and they're the only ones that are going to be able to afford to do that and then bring them back. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think we have to learn the lessons from here on Earth. We can't. It's such a huge responsibility to then go to another planet and think, oh yeah, we can do whatever we want. I don't know. And I think that sort of like private companies and resources is something that, you know, we're seeing a lot today as well, particularly with all of the satellites and everything going up, which is great. But also as an astrophysicist and an astronomer wanting to look at space when there's all these satellites in the way.
Not dig.
Yeah, it just becomes a bit of an issue. And then, you know, you go to the next step and go with more and more satellites going up every day. One of those, you know, maybe might accidentally have an issue, collide into another one, and then they take out the whole system because one creates collision and goes onto there. Like, these are all things we have to be really, really responsible with. Space is amazing, but if you don't take that responsibility with it, it you know, you do have some issues that go forward. Yeah, exactly.
There's a couple of documentaries I saw on it. One was Avatar. Obviously, you go to another, and you start digging another country and taking, what is it? Was uranium or something?
No, it was unobtainium.
Unobtainium. See what happens then?
That documentary, Avatar.
But this is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
You'll be hearing from the bin chicken very soon, who will sound remarkably like our boss David McClung.
But they're completely unrelated.
Yeah, they're just like uncanny voice.
The bin chicken is a guy called Dave McClung. Completely different.
Hey, Dave McClung.
Morning.
Hi, Dave. So you popped around to your mum's house. Firstly, we want to say you've had a big year. Dave unfortunately lost his father this year.
Yes, about 3 months ago.
Yes.
So I've been going around mum's quite a bit. Rocked up there last night to have dinner at mum's and watch Survivor as we do. And
Great.
I walk in the front door, right?
Yeah.
And it's been held open by this hideous-looking thing. And I go...
it's a blue container.
Blue container, yeah. It looks like you hold flour in it.
Yeah.
Right thing.
Right.
And I go, what's that? And she goes... That's your dad. And I go, and I'm like, okay, tell me a second. She's holding the door open with my dad's ashes.
The blue container.
So good.
Blue container. It's got here Metropolitan Cemetery Board, Robert McClung. The day he died, the day he's cremated.
So
It's holding up the door.
No, but isn't that nice that even to this day, your dad was a gentleman. He's still holding the door open for your mum.
So this is the thing.
That's beautiful.
When Dave sent it to me, I said to him, to get him onto least show him a little bit of respect and pour him into a door sausage.
But you know, the reason I think she's done it is when she first picked him up, she was immediately she called me and she's like, "You won't believe how heavy it is."
There's a bit of heft to it,
Where
isn't
is
there?
your Scottish accent? Thank you when you're talking, please.
Oh,
Yeah, your mum
you won't
said-
believe her heavy ass, David.
Yeah. But did you think she better fish in there? There might be a watch in there or something. That is
Dave,
That's amazing. But also, like, is that going to be? Do you think she's going to just leave him there?
No.
Where are we?
But that
Are we
way, she's
scattering
always
somewhere?
she's always thinking about him every time she comes in the house.
So we're going on holidays overseas next year, so that's why. And because she's Scottish, she's too cheap to pay for a really nice container. 'Cause she knows, as she says, she's going to throw him out next year anyway. So
You know what? And the trouble as well,
Throw him out.
with you know, for packing and making sure your luggage isn't too bulky, she can put him in sandwich bags.
exactly.
Jesus. So everyone's thinking you're transporting burnt crystal or something.
Yeah.
So where are you
are
gonna
you
scatter
taking
him?
back to Scotland? Is that what
We're going to see his family in Florida, and I think they might be doing some in Bali at some point, so they're going to split a bit up as well. So
Everyone's getting a doorstop.
Everyone's getting something. Everyone gets a little bit of that. There's a few places we're going to America and then Scotland to see.
Isn't
family.
it crazy? I think it's Disneyland that people go there to scatter ashes, and they've actually got a team there. If you see it,
They don't want
they don't want to do that.
Yeah, they do. And also baseball fields as well, Sean, and a lot of football fields around the world.
Yep.
People sneak in there to scatter dead people around.
That's amazing. I mean, that's super funny.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time you go, oh my God, that is super funny.
Would it creep you out if your partner, their parent died, and then they were to keep the ashes in the bedroom? Would that be?
Yeah. I think it would.
What do you think?
I always feel like someone's looking over your shoulder.
I don't care.
Watching what you're doing, Sean.
Yeah.
Watching you, checking your performance.
Yeah.
He just said, I don't care. The binge you can
Critiquing
just
yet
throw in.
again.
13, 24, 10. We want to talk about ashes, all right? We want to know, where are they? What did you do with them? Did they fly back in your face?
Yeah. You hear a lot of
Do
that.
you take them? Some people take people around the place. Like, Dad loves going here. We're going here today. We'll take him with us.
Yeah. I've got my cat's ashes in a bag, but in the lounge room by it, but like just sitting like. In a corner kind of thing. It's like, because near the chair she liked to sit on, I can't think what else to do with them. Like, it's just
I know you get them. So.
I know. Well, what do you do with them? But also, I just put them in I didn't pay for a fancy cask thing to put them in either. She's in a cardboard box. It's
But we know what to do with
cats
them.
love
We know what to do
cardboard
with them.
boxes.
Doorstops. Ashes. We're talking ashes. Give us a call.
Rick's in Butler. Morning, Rick.
Morning.
Hey, Rick.
Okay, Rick. Talk to us about ashes. What's going on?
Yeah. It's me dad, but it's me mum that's the one that's carrying the ashes around everywhere with her. She has about 10 bags that she has for different occasions. Going out in the night time, she's got ashes in them all. And
she's spread him across 10 bags.
So what are they in her bag? Like, are they in like a sandwich bag or a little container?
Yeah, it's just a plastic bag. And she can carry it with them everywhere she goes, and she's got them in the plant pot outside in the garden, because when she's sitting out there sunbathing, he's out there with her. I mean, she did spend 50 years together.
Yes.
She just can't be without him. So,
So she has a bit of him in every bag.
Yeah, a dad for every occasion.
Rick out this day.
That's amazing.
That is amazing, Rick.
But also, I hope she doesn't get searched by the police one day. They're going to think she's carrying drugs.
Oh, buddy,
I know. Like,
she takes him on holiday and everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's one of them.
So wait, so will she keep them in her handbag when travelling? And have they ever pulled it up in the X-rays when you're going through security?
Well, no, because it's not something that you're not allowed to.
No, so you're allowed to carry around.
It's just one of them. It's just I've just found it bizarre that she's split them up everywhere and that, like, so you can be with them everywhere.
Rick,
as long as
that's
less than
adorable.
100 grams, I think you can take
that's
on the
right,
plane.
in your sandwich bag. But you've got to have your lotions in there with the same bag.
But there are families that they split the ashes up,
Yes,
so
that's
everyone
right.
gets a little bit. Imagine that, Sean.
Yeah.
I just don't know about that. Jesus, funny.
That way, especially if they're arguing about it.
You got your little container going, I hope he didn't get his penis.
Thank you, Rick. Gail's in Atwell. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good
Talk
girl.
to us about the ashes, Gail.
I have a family of ashes. I have my grandma and my auntie on a shelf waiting for somebody else.
Yes.
But I have my mum waiting for my dad, who's still alive, who's still very healthy. But I also have the family dog to add to them.
So you've got your sis, was it auntie and
it's
who?
My auntie and my grandma.
So what shelf are they on at home?
They're just on my bookshelf.
Okay, so where's the?
They're in the blue container.
Okay.
I call them Pringle containers.
Yes.
Right.
They remind me of Pringle containers.
Yes.
Yeah, and then then the other one we've got is your mum. And where's mum sitting?
Mum's sitting on the same shelf.
Okay, same shelf.
And the
She's
dog's
sitting
on the
with
same
her
shelf.
mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the dog's on the same
And
shelf.
then I'm waiting for my dad.
Yeah.
Do you tell him that?
That sounds a bit threatening. To be honest, Gail.
Hey, Dad, don't give you any back chat. You'll be straight up there next to
I've
Mum.
made it spot, Dad.
Do you have one of those blue containers with an open lid and go, get in?
He does see them, and I dust them and talk to them regularly. But I also have the family dog up there.
Yes.
And it is my mother's wishes that when it was in her will.
Yeah.
When my dad dies, her and my dad need to be grouped together with the family dog.
Oh, so mixed together, like shake them together?
Mixed together.
It's in your mum's will, but is it in your dad's will? Like, what if he doesn't want
My
to?
dad will do whatever. My dad will do whatever my mum wanted.
I love it. I love it.
Well aware.
Have you ever gotten salt and pepper and shook it up in the same container?
Yeah, it's a great combination.
Why don't we do that from day one? Because they're always together.
I know, Sean. That is so sweet, but also, like,
threatening. It's like, Dad, there's your spot. Thanks, Gail. Michelle's in Wellard. Hello.
How are you going?
Great, Michelle. You're going to round us out. Talk to us about ashes.
Oh, yeah. When my daughter was about 2.5, we were living with a friend of mine who had lost their Aboriginal elder grandfather.
Oh. Yes.
And they left a little pot of ashes up on the kitchen bench. Well, my daughter decided she was going to make a cup of tea out of him.
Oh, Michelle.
Yeah, and she brought the cup of tea to me, and I didn't realise until I was about to put it in my mouth that she had made it with these ashes.
So she did it by mistake?
No, she
didn't know. She didn't know.
No.
So she's true. Yes.
Yeah, she would have been making like a little mud cake if she had a bit.
How did you find out just before?
There was a lot of ash floating on the top of this cup. And I've kind of gone, what is that? And she pointed to the little pot on top of the cabinet, and I was like, oh, no way.
How do you explain that to the person that you were staying with?
That's a conversation.
Well, going to the person who was related to the person's ashes that she was eating.
Yeah.
They were okay. But it was a bit of a blew my mind moment kind of.
I know. Imagine drinking someone.
Yeah,
I know,
but then your daughter's got a taste for it as well. Like we know how Nathan is with his English breakfast tea, won't drink anything else. Once you find the tea that you like.
I taste people.
Yeah, that's right.
People tea.
Tough.
Sure, they could have gone anywhere too.
Could have.
Nathan, Nat and Shaun in podcast form.
So we're talking about the woman, the first ever winner of Alone Australia. First female to win it anywhere in the world?
Actually,
Second.
The
Second.
I thought I was going to be the first. Well, no, I hoped I would be the first.
Yes.
No woman had won it before I went out. And then I think just
while
before,
you were there.
Just timing.
So the problem was you lasted too long in the wilderness. 67 days alone in the wilderness in Tasmania. She's written a book called We Are Stars. Gina Chick, welcome.
It's so lovely to be here.
Good to see you, Gina.
Your energy is beautiful.
You're an earth mother. You
are.
Like you literally are.
It's probably the bare feet.
How can someone so soft survive in something so hard?
Yeah, are you saying I'm fat?
No, but you were saying, like Nathan was saying, you thrived.
Yeah, no,
in the wilderness.
I did, and the really interesting thing I think about my win of Alone Australia isn't that I won, although it is as a postmenopausal woman, and a lot of what was going on out there. But it's actually how I won, because I won by breaking the game. Because the game is suffering, isn't it? That's what we want.
But also, it's about the contestants are trying to conquer nature. It feels like, whereas, yes, that's right, and be the sort of master of the domain. Whereas you literally went in to be at one with it.
You merged with the tree.
Yeah, I did. I actually did, and because of that, I didn't suffer.
Yes,
because I wasn't trying to beat nature.
So it's like you gave it a handshake and said, "Let's get along."
Absolutely, and it took my hand back and said, "Okay." And so this is going to sound incredibly hippie, but
I've got a dream catcher.
I have my moments. Whenever I needed anything, I would go out to the lake, and I'd go, "All right, Big Mama, I know you've got me here to tell a story. I can't tell it if I'm not here, and I'm not going to be here if I can't get something to eat. I'm going to need some food." And then doink, here's a fish. Doink, 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 doink.
By the end, were little birds coming and carrying dressing you in the morning?
Yeah, well, pretty
much.
That
became food.
I mean, the wallaby that turned up at exactly the right time that you needed some protein, essentially.
Yeah.
And literally
crawled into a bun.
Sat next to you. That's an example of that.
Huge.
Yeah. So I needed an animal, and the only way we were allowed to take an animal was if we caught it live.
Okay.
And that was the rules. And I'm not a trapper. I don't know how to do that. And so I same. Okay, Big Mama, I'm going to need an animal. And I went out and had a pee and sat on a log afterwards and looked at the moon and basically was procrastinating about going back to my incredibly uncomfortable bed.
Yeah.
And then my body jumped and landed on this thing before, and I caught up when I landed.
You weren't even knowing what you're doing. Really.
No, well, I used to go hunting with my dingo, so I have, to be fair, I have jumped on a lot of animals that I then had to.
So was Natalie.
I used to go hunting.
Different scenario.
I used to go hunting with my dingo.
I know. That was something we might need to come back to. Gina, it is such amazing to have you. It was great to speak to you last time we spoke to you, but I wanted to know, when you got out of that 67 days in the wilderness, what did you do? Did you wash your hair first? Did you have a shower?
Yeah, presumably they shove you in a hotel at that point.
And was it a good feeling, or you didn't care for it?
No, actually, there's a really amazing bit of footage which I have on my Instagram of my first meal.
Okay.
And I'm in the possum coat. I'm filthy.
Yes.
I'm just black. My hair's everywhere.
Got wombat in the teeth.
And well, no, they gave me, like, they do this sort of refeeding program so you don't have a heart attack and die.
Right.
So it's these meals that they give you, and it was like a little TV dinner of lasagna. Now all I've eaten is worms, fish sperm, eels, fish, and wallaby, bugs, beetles, lizards.
Yes.
And now they give me cheese.
This has gone through you, hasn't it?
No.
Oh, it didn't.
No, but what? Like, I started eating it, and it was like every cell in my body just started doing this. The video is hilarious. It is so funny because you get live my reaction.
Oh my God!
to the first food.
What a missing opportunity for whoever made that microwave meal.
Yes.
For an ad. She's like buzzing from a lasagna.
Did you want for technology when you got out, like making phone calls, looking at what's going on?
No, that was weird as well. So once I got out, I then had to be driven from one end of from Western Tassie through to the other side to Hobart to end up getting out. And the guy who was driving the car, he was like, "Right, let me tell you all about the politics," and he had the radio on, and I'm
you're like,
no. I ended up winding down the window and sticking my head out for
Like a
12
Labrador.
hours.
Did you?
Yeah, just to get away from just being inside a car. My first night in a house, I slept outside because I couldn't. It was just too weird. But the first shower, oh my God,
that would have been
the
a
water
religious
turned
experience.
black.
Yeah.
And my and it was so funny because I saw myself naked for the first time,
Right.
and I looked.
I've never seen myself naked.
Oh well, and I looked a bit different because I'd put on 19 kilos on purpose to go out there, and then I lost 24. So the last time I'd seen myself, I was, I was basically like an elephant seal, and then I came back and I was all svelte, but I was black. I was black my arms were black, my hands were black, but my body was pretty much white. Well, comparatively, because it was so weird.
That's crazy.
And then I washed it, and then all of a sudden I was just pink everywhere.
Yeah. So, Jenna, I know that some people they have to do really challenging things. They do this thing, a mantra where they go, you just have to make it through 10 seconds. Yeah. Another 10 seconds, another 10 seconds, and you reset, another 10 seconds. You were at one with nature and, you made an agreement with it. But was there a time during your time where it was that I need to get through the next 10 seconds?
Actually, no.
So not even with like temperature, nothing like that?
So there's this really interesting thing that I realised when I was out there is that survival is about the ability to be uncomfortable, right?
Yes.
And we live in a culture that pathologises discomfort.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as soon as we're uncomfortable, we've got a million things to distract us.
Yeah,
we can
we
pick
do.
up a phone, we can pick up a diary, we can pick up whatever our addiction of choice is, we can doom scroll, we can, get laid, whatever it is. The thing is that is the way we distract ourselves. And so we never learn how to be uncomfortable, and therefore we suffer because we think it's wrong. But what I realised out there is that if you can turn down the volume of that discomfort, go, is it going to kill me? No, I'm just cold and I'm wet. But that's going to end, and then it's not suffering because I'm just like, well, there's also this
there's
beautiful
a level of
day.
acceptance.
This is just my body reacting.
And I've got a platypus saying hello, and I've made friends with a couple of ducks, and look, I've just caught a fish, and actually it's beautiful with the reflections on the lake, and I'm uncomfortable, but it's not everything. And actually that's one of the things in the book that I've written, We Are the Stars, is like, the book isn't about alone. The book is about everything that's happened in my life to get me to the point where I could go out there and thrive for 67 days. And one of those things is learning how to be uncomfortable and learn from it, so that instead of my world shrinking by going, oh, I'm uncomfortable,
Yes,
it gets
and trying to
smaller.
stop it. Yeah, it's like embracing that.
By learning how to be uncomfortable in various life events, and there are many, what I learned was how to actually make my world bigger and develop my internal authority and my own skills of resilience so that I could be through anything. And so,
Ned Brockman has a similar philosophy about discomfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It's being comfortable being comfortable.
Being uncomfortable.
But you know what, Sean?
Yeah.
Like, because I think you would love to do some challenge like this. But then on the other sense, to me, how long are you there for? How many days?
67.
We hate waiting. Like, for anything, like waiting for anything. Like, to me, that's just like, that is like over 2 months of waiting.
Yeah.
That would do my head in. The platypus you said that you said hello to.
Yeah.
If that crawled up on that day that you wanted food, would you would have eaten a platypus?
No.
Okay, yeah, right.
No, it was my friend.
Okay, because
Don't
eat your friends, Nathan. Don't eat your friends.
You don't eat them.
Friends are not food.
You can have a nibble.
Nathan, Nat, and Shaun in podcast form.
We're well aware that there was a US election and the result, I mean, I think it was overwhelming and shocked a few people about how overwhelming it was.
Less than half the country is very, very shocked and devastated today.
Let's cross to LA and catch up with Melinda Taylor, who lives there. Good morning, Melinda.
Good morning.
Hi, Melinda.
Now, Melinda, we watched this from afar, and it seems to be like this weird Netflix show where one guy's up there saying whatever he wants and gets away with it.
Yes,
and
a
there's another
convicted
girl
felon as well.
And then there's a woman going up there, and it's like, oh, wait, will a woman win? And then there's like all the circus that was around it. What's it like being there for that?
It's crazy because Trump started running again in 2022. So it's been 2 years of this. And it's gotten crazier and crazier as it went on. I mean, there was an assassination attempt.
Yeah.
There was a change of candidates. There was another assassination attempt. There's, spewing racist, hateful rhetoric at rallies with thousands of people. And he won more than half the country.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wild. It's like I've seen a meme online. Somebody said, I'm watching the season finale or the series finale of the United States of America.
Oh.
That's how it feels.
Wow.
Melinda, would you say then, you just mentioned the racist rhetoric, which we've heard him go on about the borders, right? And he's really pinpointed different
dogs,
ethnic groups
cats.
about that kind of stuff. Yes, Nathan's right. So you're saying that the rest of the nation who voted him overwhelmingly in, it's a racist bunch living in the States?
I think the core group of his MAGA people fall under that category. I think what really happened is there's your hardcore Democrats and your hardcore MAGA Republicans, and then there's the middle.
Yeah.
And I think the middle just appreciated his message on the economy and the border more.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I don't necessarily think everybody in that group follows the same ideology or cares for his bombastic personality.
That's true.
But they went that direction. And so it's hard not to pigeonhole them all. But I have to remember that we're all individuals. And we all have our views and feelings.
And this is democracy
I'm feeling pretty bad today, personally.
What got me yesterday, and I rang my mum and dad once I found out that Trump won, and I said, and what gets me is, Melinda, your country, right, can decide the fate of the world. America is such a powerful place, and that is the people of America. Whatever's happening there will bleed out to the rest of the world because there'll be decisions made by the person that's been put in power. And that just shocked me. And I know that this is just the state of the world, but it's such a responsibility that Americans have because you are at the top, So how are you feeling, though? Because obviously you voted for Kamala. How are you feeling?
I did. I am feeling pretty dejected. There's a part of me that's horribly angry at the 70 million people that voted for Donald Trump, given all that we know about him factually. There's a sense of betrayal, I would say, by my fellow citizens. But I also understand that I cannot live with those feelings for another 4 years. I have to find a way to hope for the best, but it's pretty bleak today because they also won the Senate and they're about to win the House, which means he has complete and utter control over everything.
Wow.
Well, Melinda, we've got to have to see what happens there. But do you see any world where this is working? Because you just made mention that you have to make sure that you remember that there is a lot of people who are different to you. They have different representation, different thoughts.
But do I see if there's any way of this working? Honestly, I honestly don't.
But did it not work before to a degree? Like it got to a point at the end where the old bloke was just saying shit left, right and centre, for want of a better term.
Talking about Joe Biden?
No, I'm saying about when Donald was...
Oh, when he was the president last time.
And he lost fair, he says not fair and square, but it was a bit of an even race.
Yeah.
You had a person in the president who's Joe Biden who was pathetic and was probably one of the worst we've seen. So do you see any way this could go forward and be...
Positive?
I don't know if positive is the right word, but work. Maybe work, Nate.
Could it work? I mean, it certainly could if he's willing to let go of some of his ego.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is in his character.
Yeah. Well, this whole thing was built on ego. He was angry that he was lost, and he said
absolutely.
He believed factually that he was cheated.
Yeah.
So the thing I suppose why I never aligned with him is I don't like anyone standing on the necks of anyone else, and women's bodies.
The erosion of women's rights
bodies,
is a concern.
Transgender people. Even I do know every country's got a problem with immigration, but just the way you speak about immigration, I don't feel. There was no softness in your voice.
No compassion.
There was no empathy about what these people are going through to make them do that. And I understand immigration's a 12 point, but that's for me. I don't think Kamala was doing that. And that side doesn't stand on people to get ahead.
But they were ineffective as a government.
Yeah, this is just me. This is just me. And no matter what political stuff's going on, I think if you're harming someone else, if you're putting somebody else down,
from a humanistic point of view.
If you're having a rally where you've got guest speakers coming up there, and because he never condemned what that comedian said about Puerto Rico being an island of junk, that there is hate. And then after you win, you stand up and say, "Let's bring the country together." What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You're just making everyone go at each other.
Actively divided it.
Anyway, so that's where I can't stand on it. Even though I'm sure some of his business acumen is probably could be needed. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So, but then again, he's a failed businessman.
Well, I think we've got to remember that it was overwhelming. That
But I'm just saying what I think.
You're absolutely entitled.
I thought the world was going to get to a more enlightened place. Instead, I feel like we are regressing and we're taking rights away from people, and I think that's gross.
Is that how it feels to you, Melinda, as somebody that lives there?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I said to my husband the one day, this is I'm a more progressive Democrat. I believe in a lot of social programs and things like that. And I feel like they're a regressive party where they want to take us back to the good old days where the women were barefoot and pregnant. Yeah. There was no birth control or abortion. White America was where to be.
Yeah, the good old days weren't that good for a lot of people.
But you're just saying, I mean, no one's saying that that's going to happen. That's, I think you've got to find some middle ground.
They are talking about the erosion of women's rights, though, Sean, and the access to birth control.
Who's saying about that? No one's voting for that.
Republicans. They might not have voted for that, but if the people on that side are doing that, the Republicans have actively said that. They've
Which Republicans?
It doesn't matter. They're in charge.
Mate,
so if the Republicans are in charge, the Supreme Court has been supporting that. They overturned Roe versus Wade, Sean.
Well, that was Texas taking on that was Texas taking on them as well, and everyone has a chance.
They overturned Roe versus Wade, Sean.
They get an opportunity to vote as each state.
Yeah, because he stacked the Supreme Court with ultra conservatives.
It seems like I'm pushing one way to you guys, but I feel that there's such a big area.
And you know what? It doesn't impact you because an erosion of women's rights.
I would never vote for that, Nat.
It doesn't.
I would never vote for that in a million years.
But then what do you mean? Yeah. Like this is the thing. For me, if I had a daughter, I don't have a daughter. I do. Yeah, but I don't need a daughter. Once you say that you are going to be stuffing around whether a woman can have an abortion or not, if she has to have a baby through rape,
whether she can
put her life at risk as going down an alleyway.
Sean, it's happening, Sean. It's happening.
It's like you don't believe it unless you hear them right from their mouth.
Let's ask Melinda. Melinda, you live there. This is happening, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, there was just a story in the news that I came across about a teenager in Texas who went to 3 different hospitals while she was pregnant looking for care, and they couldn't care for her because if they did something that caused the fetal heartbeat to stop, they would be arrested. The doctors.
Yeah.
I totally disagree with Texas and their stance.
No,
but it doesn't matter. That's America. It's happening. And if it happens there, it can happen in any other state as well. And it is happening in other states.
It's not the Middle East.
It is happening in other states. Melinda, we appreciate your time. We know it's not the easiest thing for you to talk about.
I'm glad you guys are as passionate as I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I hope that the next 4 years is okay, and if not, just get a flight to Australia, sweetheart. We'll get your job. It'll be fine.
Thanks, Melinda.
Thanks, Melinda.
We appreciate your time.
It's the Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
So this is a story of a girl that fell off her bike.
Oh, this is great. So Nicole
Saturday,
Kidman.
Yeah, exactly. BMX bandit. So I've got an e-bike and I'd ridden down to catch up with some friends for a couple of drinks, had a couple of rosés, riding home. It's dark.
Yeah.
I've got a helmet on. There's a light built into the bike anyway, so that's, you know,
Her helmet's got Viking horns on it. It's great.
Yeah. It's not far from that. It is a bit of a novelty helmet, but it is, you know, it's Australian standards. And riding along, and what I think happened, because of course it happened so quickly, is that I hit something on the road, probably a rock or something.
Turtle.
And then because it's an e-bike, I kind of swerved, but as you push down, it's the e-bike. Yeah, it responds to and then I hit the curb and it tipped me off.
So you're catapulted, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. So I've fallen off. I've got back up, dusted myself off, got back on, rode home. Got lift. I have to carry the bike up some stairs. It's quite heavy because it's an e-bike. Managed to do that. Got home, fed the dog. It's all good. And then I've gone to bed and I woke up at about 5:30 and thought, I need to go to the toilet. And my house is very long. So the distance I've got a really long hallway and then you've got to go through the lounge room and then around the corner into the bathroom, and the toilet's at the far end of the bathroom. And I couldn't walk.
You just went to bed?
Just going.
It's the only course of action, though, isn't it?
So
you got to give it to him.
You know what I mean?
So I literally clutching the wall, try to maneuver my way down to the bathroom, and I finally get there. I go to the toilet, and then when I went to get up, the other thing is I have low blood pressure, right?
Yeah. Oh, do you go all dizzy?
Yeah. So I've stood up, gone dizzy, gone to grab at the basin, and because my left arm was too sore, no grip strength, I've fallen onto the floor.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally get it.
Did you have clothes on? You know my nightmare.
My
nightmare is being naked and passing out in the bathroom and not having enough strength to put a flannel on your doodle
Nathan,
or your mini
I had knickers on. That's it.
And just it, Natalie.
That's it. That's it.
Noughts.
And so then I'm just lying on the bathroom floor thinking, I can't get up. I can't get up. So I just lay there for a while and to regain my strength and have to think about what I was going to do.
Yep.
And so I managed to maneuver myself just like by literally imagine walking with your butt, with your legs straight out in front of you. I thought if I can get into the lounge room, I can get myself onto the couch and then I might be able to push myself up from there, which I got onto the couch and then I just lay there for a while. And my phone, meanwhile, in the bedroom, which might as well have been 10 miles away at this point.
Can I stop you here? Do you sort of wish that you just had weed in the hallway and just mopped it up the next day? Like just like a dog, because dogs do it.
I never had that thought process, Nathan. And then I thought I need to, it's really sore at this point. I need to take something for this. And so I then managed to get up and shuffle back into the bathroom. And I'm going through my cupboards to find out what sort of painkillers I had. Couldn't find any.
So you took 2 Baroccas.
No, Nathan, I found some painkillers that were given to me when I had my gastric sleeve surgery. These were and on the label it said for fast relief of acute pain.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, bang.
And I never needed them after my surgery. So I'm like, okay, this is good to go. So I popped a couple of those and went and lay down on the couch. The problem was, well, 1, they're 2 years old. Yeah. 2, I hadn't eaten anything. They just made me throw up.
Oh, and then
so
you had to go to the bathroom. You had to go back to the bathroom.
Dragging your ass along the wooden floors.
At that point, did you just want to throw up on the floor?
A little bit. I didn't, though. I managed to get in there. It's amazing the power that you can overcome pain when you're about to throw up.
No, you know what it is? Shaun, you want to get this? The power that you can summon when you're single. When you've got no other chance of anyone helping you. And you have to do it. You don't understand the things we go through.
No, I think this is... I was just thinking about you being single in this circumstance now, but if I would have a house full of people...
And they still wouldn't help you.
Get any help. So what's that?
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.